As tomorrow's storm approaches, the city of San Diego is strongly encouraging residents in low-lying areas to evacuate ahead of time.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is live in Southcrest, one of the communities hardest hit by last week's flooding. He tells us how neighbors there are getting ready now. Richard?
Well, that's right. And some residents, one resident in particular, told us she is suffering from PTSD after last week's flooding. Now, as you can see behind me, the city has done a good job on cleaning out this storm channel here in Southcrest, along with other storm channels. Of course, those channels quickly flooded, overflowing last week, leading to massive flooding in Southcrest and other neighborhoods. And while the city hopes, of course, that's not the case tomorrow, they are issuing an evacuation warning, not an order, a warning, just in case.
We're not ready for tomorrow.
Southcrest resident Ashley Manzano says she lost nearly everything in last week's storm and feels lucky not to have lost her life, as she and her family were forced to ride out the flood on top of her next door neighbor's home along Beta Street.
I was literally on this roof. Thankfully, my neighbors, they helped us up.
And as she gears up for a possible repeat tomorrow with another significant storm moving in.
Honestly, right now, I kind of have PTSD. I'm pretty sure a lot of people.
She says she is planning to evacuate, but not necessarily because of the mayor's warning earlier today.
I don't think we need the city to tell us to evacuate. I think we already know, because we see the weather forecast. We're already going to leave.
And while some residents in the area were loading up on sandbags in advance of the storm, like here at the MLK Community Center as a way of trying to protect their property from rising waters, others are not so confident.
What's really a sandbag going to do when you guys just seen what it just happened? You know, our house is already destroyed, completely.
In advance of the next storm, city workers have been hard at work clearing out the storm channels that were quickly overwhelmed by last week's torrential rains.
Why didn't they do it years ago?
Jerry Hernandez, who's lived in Southcrest for 8 years now, also lost nearly everything and is blaming the city.
Totally neglect us. They've been neglecting this community for years already.
As for the warning for residents in low-lying areas to evacuate tomorrow,
I know some of them are going to stick around, but, other people don't want to go through this again.
And right now, the city is urging everyone to gather up their important documents, especially if you live in a low-lying area. Also have a plan in place to move yourself and your family out of harm's way, God forbid, if major flooding happens again tomorrow. Also, the city is setting up an emergency shelter that will be at the municipal gym in Balboa Park. The city also says it will be providing transportation to that shelter. Back to you guys.